If you're watching this video, I assume that you, like me, have the problem of your PS4 constantly ejecting discs while you're playing. In the middle of the night, you wake up and it's constantly trying to eject the disc that is sticking out of it, making a horrible noise, wearing out the drive. And if you're also like me, you've probably read a lot of solutions online about how to handle it. The first one they say is stand it on its side. That will fix the problem. But that, I suppose it might lessen the problem a little bit, but it doesn't make it go away. Another one that you'll be told is just pull out the little foot on the bottom because the rubber on the foot is coming in contact with the capacitive touch button here, and that is causing it. Maybe, I suppose that helped some people. It didn't help me. I can leave it laying out like that and standing on its side, and it still happens constantly. Another one you'll hear is from Sony themselves, that you just take this panel off here, find the drive release screw, tighten it up, but you're not actually tightening anything. It's just rolling freely. In fact, if it's ejecting when you do this, you can feel it pulling back against the screw. The screw is just turning a gear. That, as far as I can tell, does absolutely nothing. It's just a complete waste of time. It's a placebo maybe that makes you think you've done something because the problem will stop for a little bit. Then you'll wake up the next day and it's ejecting discs again. Another solution that Sony recommends is hard resetting the system, waiting 30 seconds with the cord unplugged and turning it on again. Again, that may stop it for the moment, but I think it's not a real solution, just a placebo effect. So I pre-ordered this. This is the Destiny limited edition white PlayStation 4. Constantly been a problem. Sometimes it would go away. I played all the way through Uncharted 4 without the problem ever happening. But on most games, I'll just be in the middle of playing and it will eject the disc. Why Sony allows the disc to be ejected while you're playing a game and just drop you out of the game like that, I don't know. But yesterday I was trying to show Uncharted 4 to some family members and it kept ejecting the disc and ruining the whole time that we were trying to spend doing this. So I got to thinking, you know, I don't even care if this eject button works because I can eject it with software. If I could just disable that mechanism, I would be happy. So I tried it last night and I got it to work. So here's what you need to do. Alright, before we get started, there's a couple things you need to know. First, this will void your warranty, but it's my understanding that the problem has been solved on newer versions of the hardware, and if you have one of these Destiny white PS4s or earlier that were prone to the problem, your warranty's already run out anyway. But we're not going to do anything that will put the system at risk. You're just going to have to pull up the tape that says warranty void if removed. Secondly, you're going to need a Torx bit screwdriver. So if you don't have one of those, nowadays you can pretty much find them at any hardware store. And thirdly, you're never going to be able to use the physical eject button on your PS4 again. I mean, I suppose you could reverse this process, but since that would reintroduce the problem we're trying to solve, and you can eject discs just by pressing the button on the controller and choosing remove disk anyway, I'm assuming that, like me, that's not going to bother you one bit. Okay, so let's get to it. So the first thing we need to do is turn the unit upside down. This is the back. And we only need to get in this side. So there are screws under here, but we only need to lift off this part. So we need to peel off this sticker, and this sticker. And this is the bottom. These are going to be difficult to peel off the first time. I've already peeled them off once because I've already made the repair. But trust me, they will come off. Probably an X-Acto blade or a razor blade would work better, but a flathead screwdriver will do the job. Alright, so that exposes the Torx screws that I was referring to. So we unscrew these with our Torx bit driver. Actually, a small flathead may do it, but it's best to have the Torx just in case. And there are only 3 screws that you need to remove. Next we have to remove the shell that we have unscrewed. Should come off pretty easily. Move it slightly towards the front as you lift it. And there we go. This is all that we have to expose. You might want to clean it while you have it open, but that's all you got to get into. Now, let me turn this around so you can get a better look at the part that we need to work on. Alright, let me explain what we're looking at here. This is the power button, and this is where the eject button was. You can see here, there's a piece of metal here that touches a contact on this board. See under here why this rubber can cause a problem. It does come in contact with the metal that is in contact with the button, but this is the part that touches the board. To fix the problem, all we have to do is make that so it can't touch the board. You could break this off, but I don't see the need to be so destructive. We can just block its ability to complete the circuit with the board. So here is the whole problem right here. This little sensor comes into contact with that metal and ejects the disc. If you have electrical tape, it's probably a better option. I don't have any on me, and anything really will do. So I have some Scotch tape. Just take off a little bit. Go under and over. Just to make sure you got it good and secure. I actually did a couple layers just to make sure nothing can poke through and keep us from having to open it again. Okay, so that will effectively block the electrical current from activating the eject switch. Now all we have to do is put it back together. Alright, now we can fire it up. No more having to keep it on its end. No more having to pull the rubber part out, use a screwdriver, turn it off for 30 seconds. No holding your mouth right and praying that it won't mess up. You should be good to go. You can use it as intended. I hope this video was helpful to you. Thanks for watching.